Tonight, USA Basketball's Dream Team takes center stage on TNT. It has been another spectacular day in Phoenix, Arizona. Triple-digit temperatures. And we're at the America West Arena, the home of the Suns, for the third stop on the Dream Team's pre-Olympic tour. 19,000 plus have jammed in here to get out of the heat and catch the fever of the Dream Team as they take on China. Wan Xianghao, Wan Yingdao, Tai Yonggu, Washa, Ernie Johnson. I've either said hello or I have insulted an entire nation. Hope it was the former. Glad you're with us tonight. This Dream Team tour can be likened to three of the hottest movies of the summer. It began on the weekend we celebrate Independence Day, and it was a U.S. scare for the Dreamers as a bunch of college kids led them by 17 at the break, only to have the Dream Team come back and win by 6. The story on Sunday, The Rock, Mitch Richmond, scored 21 points in a 41-point blowout of Brazil, which brings us to tonight and this ongoing phenomenon known as the Dream Team. Joining me here tonight, a woman who is no stranger to the Olympic basketball stage. Cheryl Miller led the U.S. to the gold medal in Los Angeles in 1984. Back in the days when everybody had to have a blowout kid, and hers obviously working to its fullest potential. Cheryl, it is great to have you back with us tonight, as you always will. You've seen the first 2 games of this from the sidelines. What are your impressions of the Dream Team?
Well, putting aside their near-death experience against the select team, I have been impressed. Their practices are starting to heat up. Tempers are flying, which is a great indication that these guys are serious about playing now.
The United States and China will be in the same group when the Olympics begin 9 days from now. The U.S. has its first game 10 days from now. Let's go down to the guys who are going to call this game for us, the inseparable pair, the bilingual pair of Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. Guys.
Thank you very much, Ernie. And when talking to Lenny Wilkins, who told us in English, I might add, that after looking at the video of that tough win against the select team, he says, I got sick. Then my wife called and said, the team was bad and you need a haircut. Fortunately, things turned out better on Sunday for him. And right now, the Dream Team going into Game 3 of this tour, where do you think they stand at this particular point, Hubie?
Well, I think, Dick, you have to look at it and say they've only been together for 10 days. And anytime you say 10 days, you know that an all-star team will be hesitant. They're a little out of shape. And you know all you're asking for is will they be coachable? Main thing from a coaching staff, you want to establish an identity. The identity of this team will definitely be from the defensive end of the floor. Anytime that you can put together Gary Payton and then Scottie Pippen along with Hakeem Olajuwon, you have 3 of the top 5 defensive players in this league. For Lenny Stake and his coaching staff, you just want them to play together, play as a unit, and every day improve.
And that's why, Hubie, Lenny says, I got to give him a nickname. Might as well call him the Glove Squad because the glove man, of course, is Gary Payton. Now let's talk about China, the opponent tonight. This was a team that was winless at the 92 Olympics in Barcelona, but they made a huge jump. They were 8 out of 16 at the World Championship just 2 years ago. They are in the Olympics again because they won the Asian Games. What kind of team will we see from the People's Republic tonight?
I think that, first of all, the people are going to be surprised at how tall they are. They have 3 players over 7 feet. 10 players 6'6" or better. They've won the Asian Games 10 out of the last 11 times. You can see no player under 6'3", and also it's a young team. Their style of play is they love to get up and down the floor. They are very outstanding in the 3-point shooting range. 4 positions will take the shot. They play 10 players. They only have an average inside game. Matched up against the USA, big question mark. Can they keep up with the speed and quickness? Can they penetrate and score with the USA shot blocking ability? And then the big question, what about transition defense? Should be a lot of fun for them and a great learning experience.
Always a lot of interest in the Dream Team, but keep in mind, Ernie, that 400 million people are watching this game live on China's Central Television. They're seeing it at 8 a.m. Thursday morning.
All right, Dick, and those hundreds of millions will be hoping for a major Len Men Yi Wai. That is a major upset if China can best the Dream Team tonight. At halftime, we'll be back to introduce the newest member of the Turner Sports family. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Welcome back to Phoenix and America West Arena, the home of the Phoenix Suns, for the 3rd game in the 5-game tour of the Dream Team prior to the Olympics. As Ernie mentioned, 3-digit heat outside, but inside the Chinese are learning about what has been a great tradition here in Phoenix with the Suns, the Gorilla, who has entertained fans for so many years, also now part of USA Basketball. Now the starting lineups for the game brought to you by Kraft. And what is interesting here is that Hu Weidong, the all-star player for China, is not in their starting lineup. For the United States, Gary Payton and Hakeem Olajuwon starting their first games. And, of course, as you might expect, Charles Barkley still with the Phoenix Suns as of right now, starting this game for the Dream Team with Reggie Miller and Grant Hill. Right now, let's send it over to Reggie Theus. Reggie?
All right, Dick, as you heard that thunderous ovation for Charles Barkley, I had a conversation with him about 2 hours ago about his possible trade to the Houston Rockets, but most of all about coming back in this building, possibly being for the last time of being the man of the Phoenix Suns. The big thing is his emotion. He seemed a little bit on the uptight side. He tried to make it a business, but I know Charles very well, and this is a strange thing for Charles Barkley. Dick?
All right, thank you, Reggie. So here is Barkley with kind of maybe mixed emotions tonight.
Yeah, it's mainly, I feel, has he cut the relations or cut the cord from Phoenix? What happens if there is not a trade and you have to come back and play in the city? Naturally, he's looking to possibly New York or Houston, but then again, you still have to be able to trade in return.
Gary Payton misses a three-point attempt, and Charles Barkley is fouled inside. So Barkley not wasting a lot of time, and one thing we have seen from Barkley, when he wants to and he turns it on, watch out.
Yeah, well, you know right there, you're going to see he's going to have a big game tonight. Everything down inside, he'll take strong because he knows that there is a lack of shot blocking ability at the end at the Chinese end. So go strong and try to get 2 or 3.
The officials working tonight's game, both from the NBA, David Jones and Bill Spooner, as Barkley makes the first free throw. It's 2-0 in favor of the Dream Team. Their next game will be Friday in Salt Lake City against the Australian Olympic team. And there you see Payton, the glove, in action.
Well, you're going to see the United States Olympic team press quite a bit during the course of the Olympics.
And now the turnover on the pressure. Grant Hill misses inside. Reggie Miller fights in the corner, but it's turned over to China. So we're going to see the Chinese national team for the first time, and inbounding the ball will be Gong Xiaobin, and they start the game off with a full court press, and a foul is called against Gary Payton.
Well, you're going to see that China naturally does not run into this type of quickness, and then also quickness with size that the USA can put out on the floor. For Lenny Wilkins, it's an excellent way for him to get his team into shape.
So Payton committing the foul. With the ball is Jung Woo, number 5, and the center Shan Tao. He's 7'1", number 14. Here is Jung Woo inside to the big man, and stripped away by Olajuwon. Barkley ahead of the field to Reggie Miller, and it's now 4-0 Dream Team.
For China, this will be an education for them at the defensive end. Anytime that they shoot, they can't crash 5 guys to the board and then leave the backcourt unprotected.
And yet another turnover as Barkley crashes into our table and is fouled.
We have a miniature Niagara Falls here on our stat man, Marty Aronoff. Here comes Charles right into our table, trying to nail our statistician.
And does so in successful fashion. But fortunately, Hubie, you and I stayed dry.
That's right. I love it. Marty only just lost 31 pens of all different colors.
Grant Hill with the jump shot, and the U.S. starting off 6-0 with a full court pressure. And Hubie, when you said at the top of our broadcast that the name of the game for the Dream Team will be defensive intensity, that's what Lenny Wilkins sees, and he's coming out strong from the start.
Well, you can see anytime that you have a dominating guy on your point guard like Payton, it makes it so difficult for, you know, any team, a team even here in the United States in the NBA, you put together all of this quickness.
Basket and the foul. Here's Payton again inside.
He's going against the captain of the team, and you can see that his quickness, they'll jump over the top of the Chinese here this evening.
4 turnovers already committed by the Chinese team. 9-0 at the start of this game, and Swen Jun, number 7, who is outstanding outside shooter. Most of these players are. But as Hubie mentioned, they got a lot more size than people expected. Swen Jun has it blocked away. Number 7 is Swen Jun. And here is Wu Xinluang, and he hits from outside. He is the oldest player on the team at 31, and he brings a lot of experience to this team.
Yes, and he's a very, very good three-point shooter.
Barkley inside, feeding Hakeem, and it is 11-3. So the three-point basket is all China has to show in the first 2 minutes of this game.
Well, you have to look at this, Dick, and say, first of all, they're very nervous. They're in quite a bit awe of this team, and you can see it right there, the shot blocking and the quickness.
3-on-1, and Olajuwon with the pass to Hill. The 92 team, which had a lot more experience, had more offensive firepower. This team has to rely more on defense to get their scoring.
Well, you look at the outside guys when you had Magic, you Bird, and you had also Chris Mullin, Clyde Drexler. You really had some key perimeter people.
And a three-point basket by Jung Woo, and he had averaged 51% from three-point range in the World Championship, and that's what this team started with back in '79 when they became a realistic international team. Barkley guarded inside by Jung Woo, and a scoop shot by Payton, and Gary Payton has 5 points for the Dream Team.
Anytime that you play against the United States team and you do not have an inside game, you're in a lot of trouble. Because now their quickness on the outside will just take you right out of everything you're doing. The only thing here the United States has to worry about is just jam them and do not give them the uncontested three-point shots.
Xiao Tao, the 7-1 center, has not had a chance to handle the ball very much thus far. Payton knocks the ball away as Wu Xinluang try to drive the basket.
When you put together all-star teams, Dick, you're always looking for guys to be unselfish, and you see Charles dropping it right off here to Hakeem. Now, that you like to see. What you do not like is when they overpass and try to thread a needle, and it ends up in turnovers.
All right, here is Hu Weidang, who is the top player on the China team, and their best guard tandem, Liu Shouyang and Hu Weidang, are in the game now. That is number 8, who is by far their top player, MVP in the Pro League in the All-Star game, and Lee, number 4, their point guard in his first year in international competition. Here comes the Dream Team again. Payton with an alley-oop to Barkley. Above his head and out of bounds, China's ball.
We tried to establish at the top, this is a very, very quick USA team. You're going to see the head fake, good ball fake, take it to the hole. See, no shot blocking there, and they're not going to contest. They think you're going to drop off the pass.
Number 8, that's the best player, Hu Weidang. And number 4, Lee Shouyang. That should be the starting backcourt when the Olympics get underway. And a good fall away by Xiao Tao, the 7-1 center, showing a good touch.
Well, in the Goodwill games in Russia and then in the World Games in Toronto, he shows a nice touch, but they very seldom pass him the ball, Dick.
Only handle it a minimal amount of times. Here is Hakeem in a crowd, and he makes it look easy on that one. 17-8. With nearly 5 minutes gone by, the Dream Team leading China here in the first half.
Well, this first group out there for USA, they're doing an excellent job defensively. They're cutting off the passing lanes, taking away the lane. They're only giving up perimeter shots.
Did they ever get serious defensively after that first half?
Oh, absolutely.
The game against Select Team?
Well, you have to give Lenny the credit that he knew the 5 guys that could get the job done.
3 seconds on the 30-second clock. And the jump shot as time running down by Gong. And Gong, who is the hero of the Asian Games, hit, and that's what they do best, hit the outside shot.
Well, he's a power forward, you know, very big, 6'8", and he loves to shoot that three.
Barkley going baseline. And Hakeem banks it in. That was a tough basket by Hakeem, defensed well. Dream Team 7 out of 10 from the field to start this game. Hu Weidang guarded by Hill, now picked up by Olajuwon. And notice the trapping. And another three-point basket, this one by Lee, the young player.
Well, he's a new point guard. They cut from the team. The fellow who was the point guard at the Goodwill Games and then also in the World Games. And this young fellow right now is showing some promise.
Payton misses a 3. Meanwhile, China 3 of 5 from downtown, and that was dribbled by Hu off of the foot of a Dream Teamer. And here is Reggie Miller from outside. He has yet to find the mark from long range. And there on the second effort, Reggie Miller gets the basket, but Reggie Miller really represents the only pure three-point shooter that the Dream Team has.
Well, right now, Dick, the team is only 6 for 23. So you know that's a terrible percentage. And you're saying, Stockton can make them, Mitch Richmond, Reggie Miller, and then Peyton is kind of sporadic as long as Pippen. The big thing right now is once they get their legs, we'll see a higher percentage.
We got one chief, and that's the coach, right now, and that's the way everyone has to look at it. So, it's obvious everyone out here can lead, or they wouldn't be here.
Everybody's going to be a leader. I mean, I think me and John and Penny is going to have to step up a little bit more and be the leader. I think when we handling the ball, I think the bigger guys know that.
Probably Charles more so because his personality. He'll be the leader, probably the spokesperson of the team. And to be quite honest, I don't think anybody minded that.
Most of the players feel that Charles Barkley is the leader, and a lot of the young people have flocked to him, and he's given advice.
Well, I think, Dick, what he's trying to do is he's trying to make a very big impression. He's honored to be on the team, and he's looking to pick up a second goal. People forget that he has averaged more points than any American in the history of the Olympics, 18 points a game in '92.
Third turnover by the Dream Team. And the U.S. double teaming, and it's tipped off of Lee. And over and back will turn it over to the USA. Barkley has 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals thus far.
Well, in the early going, China is shooting 5 for 9 from the field. They're 3 for 5 in threes. U.S. 9 for 14. But points in the paint, 14-0 for the USA.
Barkley tried to make a crossover move, and Gong Xiaobin did a good job defending the baseline. It'll still be Dream Team ball, and inbounding will be Grant Hill, who's starting his second game in this tour. Of course, he started before the home fans at the Palace at Auburn Hills on Saturday and was 3 for 3 from the field. Here is Reggie Miller for 3, and he nailed it. Reggie Miller now with 7 points leads the Dream Team. They're up 24-13.
Well, if you notice, Reggie's wearing the goggles, and he feels that for right now, he has no blurriness in the area of the optic that he had fractured. He has no pain, but he wants to protect himself and wear the goggles for at least half the game.
So Lee, the young point guard, guarded by Peyton, 4 on the shot clock, and Lee penetrating, and a left-handed move doesn't drop Olajuwon, and Hill releasing inside gets the basket. Grant Hill now with 6 points in the game, and all 5 starters have scored, with Miller leading with 7, Olajuwon and Hill with 6 apiece.
As you're watching, you see that the China, nice backdoor.
And the basket by Swin Jun.
Well, he's an excellent scorer. In '95, he averaged 35 points a game in the professional league in China. Now, they've only had the league now for the last 2 seasons.
And that was in the first year. Olajuwon working his way inside. Hakeem with 8 points. This is his first start. 4 for 4 from the field. And he came on strong in the second half against the select team last Saturday when the trio of Barkley, Olajuwon, and Pippen, along with Peyton, put on the defensive clamps.
Well, Hakeem was big down that stretch. You're right, Dick. In that last 20 minutes, he had 5 block shots.
Here's Lee getting a screen and hits the 3. So Lee Xiaoyong with his second from downtown, and Grant Hill getting 3. One thing China does not do well is play defense, and that is one of the things that they're always working on.
Yeah, the coach, who's only 39 years of age, he's young at this. He's one of the all-time great players in the history of China basketball, but he admits that this is what must happen if they're going to get better. Defense and better rebounding.
This is a country that just had hard dirt courts until they built a floor just a couple of years ago, and there is the star of the team, Hu Weidong, who's their best three-point shooter, the Penny Hardaway, they call him, of the Chinese team.
I like his talent. Watching him practice for 2 days, Dick, he really has some tools. MVP of the league, averaged 29 points a game during the season.
Here's Barkley working his way into a Hakeem. The combination of Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley has worked to a tee thus far for the Dream Team. They lead by 11, but China's staying in the game because of their ability to hit from downtown. They're 5 of 7
Charles makes the game look easy, Dick. You know, anytime you play with Charles, if you move without the ball and you're open, he delivers the pass.
5 assists so far for Charles Barkley, trying to tie up the big man, Sean Powell, and in fact gets the ball back. Payton to Miller, and Payton did not even have control of the ball when he got it over to Gary Payton. And the first of 2 timeouts called or allowed by a team called here.
Now just watch as Charles accepts the double team. As he comes back, you'll see the double team coming, and he just finds Olajuwon. Charles, one of the best passers in the history of the NBA game.
On the road. Well, the Dream Teamers hit the ground running and swinging here in Phoenix. David Robinson and John Stockton taking time for a round of golf. Not a bad swing. Let's see if John Stockton's a little shy. Indoors, another story. Reggie Miller was found at the pool room taking on TV star Jaleel White. White had a tough time finding his shot, but Reggie not only hit 3s, but 4s, 5s, and 6s as well.
But I just can't put them together.
Hakeem Olajuwon with 10 points, 5 for 5 from the field, and into the game, Mitch Richmond and Karl Malone have come in for the Dream Team.
Now China has come with a second 7-footer, Batir. He's the only Mongolian on this basketball team. He only has played basketball for 4 years. 7 foot, 264, the leading rebounder in the Chinese professional league. He is a very, very tough guy, sets good screens.
2 7-footers, and we may see Wang Zhuzhe, who is a 19-year-old, who's going to be a big star. Here is Hu Wei Gong on the fast break, one of the few China has managed tonight and has not managed to connect.
That was a great rundown and intimidation at time by Grant Hill.
Head of the field is Jung Woo, and a reverse layup by Jung Woo, who is maybe the most intense player on the Chinese Olympic team. And he cuts the lead to 11 again, 34-23.
Now you have to like their ability to get out. They're not afraid to push the ball.
Karl Malone misses on the fall-away, and you can be sure that Malone and John Stockton will be in the starting lineup Friday on their home court at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. That's our next Bella broadcast. Hakeem got a hand on Jung Woo, who's only 6'6", and that results in a basket by Grant Hill, who's in double figures with 10.
Dick, now come on, you didn't even mention. Olajuwon never left his feet. He just put up his hand, blocked his shot.
He bent his knees. The U.S. 73%, 16 of 22, and most of those layups on transition baskets. Less than 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. And nearly losing the ball there was Liu Yudong. And he did, and here's Mitch Richmond going strong. Rebound by Malone. Fighting his way in, fouled, and the basket will count. Karl Malone, after Mitch Richmond made a strong move, and Shaquille O'Neal, a cheerleader thus far in this game.
Now just watch this heads-up play by Hakeem. He's just standing in there. The point guard steps inside. All he did was reach up and block it as he stayed on the floor. Now you're going to see China step out here now. See, they're always looking to push the ball. Now this is a great move. How about that? Did not take it up on the strong side, brought it up underneath the rim.
That's Jung Woo, 29 years old, who's 6'6". Scottie Pippen making his first appearance for the Dream Team. And the free throw by Malone completes the three-point play. There is Pippen, and China Olympic team still looking for their first visit to the free throw line in this game with barely 8 minutes remaining. Olajuwon blocks it out of bounds.
Now John Stockton got popped that time. See, he elbowed the dribbler, and he also got caught with a elbow right back into the face.
Missing from the perimeter was Liu, and it'll be a Dream Team ball. So Olajuwon has 3 blocked shots in his first start in this tour, and Karl Malone, again, having a good performance. Back to America West Arena, Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. The Dream Team leading 39-23 with just under 8 minutes to go in the first half. Right now, let's send it over to Reggie.
Well, Dick, in that timeout, they sent for the American doctor because number 4 guard Lee Chao Young has got a scratch on his right eyeball, which is he's out of the game with ice on his eye. But the coach over here is always stressing every time out about being concerned with guys having the jitters, going to the bucket hard and not worrying about getting their shot blocked. Just play your game. We'll get better no matter what happens. Dick?
All right, Reggie, thank you very much. John Stockton, the point guard, and David Robinson is in the lineup now. Now, the big story, the turnovers in this game. Mitch Richmond with a good flash to the hoop and a block inside and a foul as Batir made the block and commits the foul.
Oh, I really like that rotation. China made a great move, and Batir came from the opposite side and actually blocked that shot. Now, Richmond has taken it strong to the basket, Dick. That's his third time that he's penetrated and gone hard. See, they're looking for the outside shot. Instead, the USA team are taking it off the dribble right to the rim.
Jungwoo, number 5 for China, committing his third personal foul. You're disqualified after 5 personals. And so all of a sudden, China, with the injury to Lee and Jung, who's a swingman, maybe short in that area.
Yeah, well, Lee is an excellent point guard, and that's a major loss for them. Now, as far as the other guys fouling out, they have 10 players that are all interchangeable, and I think they really don't care. You and I both saw them practice this morning, and you would think that that was it for the day, and then they had to come back and play here this evening.
And they did the same thing yesterday. So scrimmages and games, all the same to them. And there's Jung, and a traveling violation. And you can credit the defense. Scottie Pippen rushing at the shooter. They haven't seen that either, and that's the 11th China turnover.
So he's a big-time scorer, Swen, at number 5. And he always is looking to hit that three-point shot. We told you earlier he averaged 35 a game 2 years ago in the Chinese league.
Blocked by Hu Wei-dong. Fine play, but he blocked it in the hands of Scottie Pippen. Little fancy Dan stuff by the Dream Team. Wei-dong to Swen Jun and out of bounds. Well, China looks like a well-coached team.
Oh, they are. Now step back and you look at them in the World Games 2 years ago. They beat Brazil and they beat Spain. They shocked the world, FIBA basketball, in those 2 wins. But you can see why they would give teams a problem here.
And, you know, Gong Lu Min, probably the best point guard this country has ever known. He knows about that position. Hu Wei-dong with a quick 3 with Stockton in his face.
I love this guy. This guy's a great player. And you can see why he's MVP of the team, MVP of the All-Star Dig, MVP of the league. You can see he handles the ball extremely well for a guy 6'6". He can play backcourt, front court, rebounds, does it all.
Averaged 28 points and nearly 6 rebounds in the China League. And there is another 3 by Jungwoo, playing with 3 personal fouls, and 7 for 9 from downtown puts China very much in this game, down 41-29.
You got to get on these guys. I mean, they are not hesitating. They like this style of play.
And another turnover. So the Dream Team turning over a lot more now.
Oh, send it down.
He will be in the slam dunk contest in Cleveland next year on All-Stars.
There you go.
What do you think?
I love it. That young fella, he really has talent.
China is on an 8-0 run after this shot.
Now, how about right here? Now, see, Pippen is just measuring that one, but Scotty still has that tendon in the leg, which is definitely giving him a problem. If that was an NBA playoff game, he definitely would have gone for the shot clock.
And Scotty told both of us he hopes to avoid surgery, by the way.
Absolutely.
At any cost.
Yeah, and he's playing, he's picking his spots, and Lenny is working. Nice backdoor.
And Pippen from Stockton. You know, it's interesting, Hubie, that Scottie Pippen coming into this game has played 4 minutes than anyone on this team, and everyone thought he wouldn't play that much because of his ailment.
Yeah, but if he didn't play that minutes, you know, that USA under-22 team, they might have pulled off that big upset on Saturday.
True. And then Lenny's wife would have sent him a harsher note, huh? And just cut your hair and the team looked bad. That was Liu Yudong with a 2-point basket for China, and David Robinson is fouled with 5:27 to go in the first half. The TNT's Dream Team coverage continues Friday night in Salt Lake City when the Australian national team takes on the Dream Teamers at 8 Eastern. That's Friday night right here on TNT. David Robinson shooting 2. There are 2 players named Wu. And when we give their names, it's the last name first. That's the way they do it in China. So if it's Hu Wei-dong, Hu is his last name, and you say it first. Well, Wu Xinlong, number 10, who is the oldest player at 31 back in the game for China. still have not gone to the free throw line.
Well, it's very difficult, Dick, for them to get into the lane unless it's out on a fast break transition attack.
Here's the veteran guard. Batur working against David Robinson, but Stockton gets the turnover as he forces it. Winding down to 5 minutes remaining in the first half. 12-point lead for the Dream Team. Their biggest lead was 18, and John Stockton with an arching shot from the corner.
Well, you can see the Dream Teamers are hesitant in their offensive sets. First of all, the sets are new. The players are unfamiliar with one another's little idiosyncrasies, and you're going to expect that. But each game will get it. They'll get it smoother and smoother. But then, when they get to the Olympics, at least 50% or more of their points will come in transition basketball.
Shot missed by Liu, and here is Karl Malone slamming it through. Karl Malone, the veteran of the '92 Olympics, and from Stockton, fans in Delta Center would like to see a lot of that Friday night. Nearly causing the turnover that time was Mitch Richmond. All over Swin Jun, and there's Batur from outside, and slashing the rebound away with Malone. Stockton, no-look pass to Scottie Pippen.
See, that's what they just cannot defend. And that is that once the USA makes the pitch out, and the pitch outs are almost to half court, Dick, then if it's a 2-on-1, 3-on-2, athletically, there's nothing they can do about it.
So the Dream Team running off 8 in a row after China did the same thing a little while ago here in this first quarter, down to 3:45 remaining. Batur, the big 7-foot-1-inch center, hitting from outside and missing, and David Robinson running the floor as he does so well. He came in shape, and Lenny Wilkins very impressed that he did, considering how early San Antonio was knocked out of the playoffs.
Absolutely. But I don't think David Robinson is ever out of shape, right, over a 12-month period.
Low pass to Zhang, and loses the ball. And another turnover. That's been the story here tonight. 13 turnovers already in this first half, and Scottie Pippen is fouled driving to the basket.
Now, Dick, we see Chinese right now. We see that they are, struggling getting back. You can see that they're tired. Now, to keep an eye right here on Scottie Pippen as he's moving here on this fast break. This is just a nice pickup, and then also David Robinson taking the defender out. Scottie sending it home with authority.
And we're going to get our first look now at the 7-foot-1-inch Wang Zhuzhe, 19 years old, just a couple of days ago. He is the youngest player and headed for stardom, everyone feels, in international play.
Well, there are a number of United States Division I teams trying to recruit him. He is the star defender. He averaged 5 shot blocks a game. The Army team won the championship for the second year in a row, going undefeated, and he is a defensive anchor. Dick, watching him in the last 2 days, I have really been impressed with his athleticism.
54-33 and high above courtside, as the late and great Boston Celtics announcer Johnny Most used to say. We have Ernie Johnson tonight. Ernie?
All right, thank you very much, Dick. Coming up in just a few minutes is the McDonald's halftime report. You know, the doors to the free agent market swing wide open tomorrow. Less than 24 hours, we'll look ahead to that. And also, we will introduce you to the newest member of the Turner Sports family. You may move to the edge of your seats now. Dick and Hubie.
All right, Ernie, and the suspension is killing us. There's Shaquille O'Neal and Shaq and Penny Hardaway, the only Dream Teamers yet to play in this game.
Well, look, anytime you play 20-minute quarters, this half is flying right by. We're inside of 3 minutes. Lenny Wilkins, this is his toughest job. You got 12 All-Stars. How do you find the minutes? Then also shot attempts. What you're trying to do is find combinations. His strategy is try to get to them early and knock them out early. Don't let them hang around.
Swin Jun hitting a 3, and we are looking forward to that announcement coming up at halftime, seriously. Right new addition to the Turner basketball group as Mitch Richmond drives and is fouled. And let's check in with Reggie Theus.
Dick, I was down at the U.S. bench, and Coach Lenny Wilkins is not concerned, but he's telling the guys that they have to stay together and continue to play through each play, cross underneath, keep the body moving, keep the motion going, and stay on top of them defensively. The biggest problem they have right now is themselves, learning each other, getting things down to a science. Dick?
And as Hubie mentioned, Reggie, it's only been 10 days for Lenny Wilkens, you know, and going on the point that Ernie made about the free agency, Lenny Wilkens told his team, he says, look, I know your representatives will call you, you'll be talking about things. Let them do the work. You focus on this business of playing ball.
I know that's easy to say, Dick, but when you're dealing with the millions that these guys are going to command, who are free agents, it's difficult to concentrate.
No, but I could.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant. You and I could. Well,
Yeah.
at least I could.
There you go.
You're like those guys. Under 2.5 to play in this first half, and you'd be right, very quick-moving half. Those 8 minutes, that makes a big difference. Karl Malone defending on the side against Gall.
Anytime that you play a 40-minute game, you can see right now the United States shooting 74%, and most of it is coming below the foul line, taking it strong to the basket.
Another turnover, Karl Malone. Stockton to Pippen for an easy one. Oh, he's going to let Robinson. And that will make the highlight reels, huh?
Well, the people love to see all of that. Naturally, if you're playing on a Chinese team, you're not happy with that. But then again, not one of the players crossed the defensive end of half court. They just allow it to happen.
Here's Jung Woo. Misses, and Robinson the rebound. Scottie Pippen. Back to Robinson. Oh. That would have been successive offensive forays by the two players. Karl Malone misses. And finally, coming down with it is Woo Shin Long. Berrigan's up 23 baskets in his first half and assists on 19 of them. That's teamwork at its best. And a foul has been called.
Now you're going to see the wide open floor, the unselfish play by Pippen. Here comes David, sending it home. You say, why is Lenny Wilkens so concerned whether they run out the offenses? What he's trying to do, you keep bringing up the point, they've only been together 10 days. They've been off for 2 months. You want them to get their game legs, because then the perimeter shooting will improve. If you notice, they only have one perimeter field goal tonight outside of 17 feet, and it's been missing in the 3 games. But it will get better as they get in better physical shape.
Swen Jun on the line, and as you saw on the graphic, the first time tonight that China has gone to the free throw line, and because Swen Jun was fouled in three-point territory by Stockton, he got 3 shots and made 2 of them. Here is Stockton, who is bounced by Woo Shin Long, who is the bulkiest. And there was Gary Payton, who has had minor back problems. They've had to stretch a little bit, and that's why he is lying prone on the bench.
Well, they say that Stockton's recovered. Gary still has the spasms. Scotty, we know, has a tendon area in the leg. And but the rest of the guys, they feel, are good enough to play no matter how many minutes. But remember, this is a shortened game from 48 minutes down to 40.
You know, it was great today when we saw the shoot-arounds. It looked like more Chinese players wanted to pose with John Stockton for photos than any other green team.
Well, that's because they were taller than him.
I knew there was a hidden reason.
Yeah, right. No, but let's say, wouldn't you like to be with the #1 guy in the history of assists, over 11,000, 11.6 a game, and also the #1 steal man in the history of the NBA?
9th consecutive assist title broke Bob Cousy's record, set back in the mid to late 50s, early 60s. And a turnover thrown away by Wang Zhuzhe.
Well, he's never seen this kind of half-court trapping. Now, you can see this unit just went to an automatic. It's like a 3-2 half-court trap. And what you have to do is not only find the free people, but then be able to deliver the pass.
Mitch Richmond, who has been doing that all night, driving to the basket, gets rewarded with the hoop and the foul and a chance for a three-point play. Bringing up to date on the scoring so far in the game. Olajuwon and Hill each with 10. Reggie Miller has 9. And Richmond can make it 7 points if he connects.
This is a player who has not received his due across the country. You're talking about a guy who's been an all-star 4 years. He's been all-NBA second team twice, and all-NBA team third team 1 time. And you would never know it in the national recognition by people who are talking about players in this league.
If you talk to the coaches on the Dream Team, and they'll say his defensive intensity is something that maybe they didn't expect as much. Wang Zhuzhe, the young 7-footer, has his shot deflected. Pippen to Malone. Robinson blocked by Zhuzhe. The young kid came back at 19 and got a piece of it. You talked about his defensive exploit.
Yeah.
And Malone will go to the line. I'm impressed with that kid's play. Zhuzhe.
Just watching him in practice for 2 days. Now, they've been going in the morning and again at night. They worked so hard this morning. Now, just watch as he recovers here. Now, you're talking about a young guy, 7'1". He led the Chinese Professional League in shot blocking, 5 a game. In the Junior World Championships, he averaged 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 block shots. Now, he's doing that against the best junior teams in the world. He has nothing but an upside, and maybe some team in the United States might be able to entice him to come to their college.
You know, many people may remember and may realize that there's a player on the China team who had performed before, as Malone misses, named Ma Jian, who played in Asian Club Championships. He went to the United States, tried out with UCLA. Rick Majerus had him in Utah for a little bit, and because he did not communicate with the Chinese Basketball Federation, they said, you're not going to be part of us. And so a real fine player not getting a chance to play in the Olympics, Ma Jian.
Yeah, he played for them in the Goodwill Games over in Russia.
Jung with the shot, and the buzzer sounds, and that is the end of the first half. The Dream Team leading all the way, 62-38. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Ernie Johnson and Cheryl Miller upstairs when we return to Phoenix. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona. And the third stop in the 5-game tour of the Dream Team before they begin against Argentina a week from Saturday to start their Olympic drive. The United States leading 62-38 over China. Now, after you talked about how this team getting a defensive sense and identity, and that certainly was the case in the first half of this game against China.
11 steals, 6 block shots. That's terrific for a half. Very important at the offensive end. 24 field goals, 20 assists. Very little one-on-one basketball. They're getting in shape, they're having fun, and everybody's playing hard.
A look at the halftime stats brought to you by IBM, and you'll see that in the shooting department, with the big lead, the 24-point lead, China only 14 of 31 for 45%. The U.S. 24 of 37 for 65%. But again, the turnovers and the points off of turnovers, the difference so far.
Yeah, you know that's how it's going to be. And we said at the top, the transition defense for any team from FIBA versus the United States will always be the key, whether they can hang in the game. You say, well, how do you stop that? You must shoot a high percentage, and you must have 2 guys and possibly 3 back defensively.
And we'll be back with the second half of tonight's game here at America West Arena after these messages. And with the United States leading by 24 points at the half over China, let's get a report now from Reggie Theus.
All right, Dick, at halftime, the coach, Gong Lu Ming, is really pretty happy about the way his team is playing. He's worried about them having the jitters. And you have to remember, to these guys, the U.S. team, they're celebrities. So, yes, they're going to be afraid to play. He wants them to get a little bit more inside and play a little more aggressive on the inside. The other side of the story, for the USA team, they know they can blow this team out. So it's a little bit hard for them to go 110% at this moment. Dick?
All right, Reggie, and Shaquille O'Neal making his first appearance in the game, jumping center, and it's controlled by China, and turned it over into the hands of Mitch Richmond. As we start the second half, Charles Barkley gets the basket. The feeling in the China basketball world is if the team loses by 20 points, they would consider that a moral win. 30 points, well, not so good, but 40 points, I think, like what they did with Brazil, would really cause consternation over there.
Well, right, and it's a very, very important 5 minutes for them that they get something going here, Dick. And they're playing 2 7-footers in there now.
Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal, who didn't see action in the first half, start the second half for the Dream Team. And there is Wang Zhizhe, who hits the jumper, again showing the touch. The big men do have a touch on this China team.
That was a nice penetration by Swen and a beautiful pass in traffic.
Mitch Richmond misses from outside, and it's tipped in by Charles Barkley, who has 6 points. So Barkley starting the second half, along with Grant Hill, Mitch Richmond, Penny Hardaway, and Shaquille O'Neal.
Nice, nice.
And Barkley ties him up. Barkley, maybe 6'6", maybe a little less, but he timed his jump perfectly, and a jump ball with Wang Zhizhe.
Now you're being very charitable. Now just watch here as O'Neal goes for the block. Barkley goes up, and then he gets a piece. At 6'4½", Charles does his job.
Bater from the corner for China.
Now they have the 2 7-footers in there with their best 3 3-point shooters on the perimeter.
Driving the baseline and a foul. And Bater does not agree with that foul as he is called with it. And Barkley went baseline.
Now, this is just a beautiful play. You're going to see the defense recover and then the kick back out, and the big fella at 19 years of age, just turned 19 2 days ago.
U.S. has led all the way, going up by 18 with 7 minutes to go in the half. Then China's 3-point shooting that you talked about cut the lead to 10, but the U.S. finished on a 19-5 run for their lead. 24 points, that's what it is right now. Barkley shooting over the young 7-footer, hits the jumper. Charles Barkley may be playing his last game at America West Arena as a member of the Phoenix Suns. All sorts of reports that he's going to be traded to Houston, that he apparently wants out. Now has 8 points. Swen misses the shot. Grant Hill leaves it for Hardaway. No look to Hill. Pretty play by the Dream Team.
That was a beautiful give and go. Very unselfish move by Penny.
Hill is 6 of 7 from the field. Grant Hill with 12 points in the game. Really getting into the flow in the Dream Team activity in their 3rd game. No look pass again. We've seen a lot of it, but intercepting in front of Shaq was Bater.
Bater has done a nice job, Dick. He's really held his own on the boards and in the lane.
Hu Wei Dong. This is a 3. Wei Dong had 8 points in the first half. Shaquille O'Neal is fouled. By the way, the leading scorers in the first half.
Now, he got hit that time, except he traveled also. He got a break. Now, just keep an eye on this fast break. Now, as you get the kickoff right here, watch how Penny returns the pass. Beautiful give and go.
And free throw by O'Neal is good. Lenny Wilkins telling us yesterday at lunch that practice is over, and there is Shaquille O'Neal working on his free throw shooting. Very impressed with that.
And Shaq, during his career, is 57% in 4 years in the NBA. He was 53% at LSU. He puts in an hour and a half every night during the playoffs on the off games at home with the shooting. It isn't because of lack of effort. He really works at his game. Unfortunately, that's right. Unfortunately, ball is not dropping for him.
On the turnover, Dream Team again has it. Mitch Richmond.
Little zone here now.
A little more than 3 minutes gone by here in the second half, and a careless play. Hardaway trying to get it to Barkley. A little bit too much mustard on that pass.
To me, it's interesting, Dick, that we have not seen China play zone. Whether they play a 1-2-2, whether they play a 2-3, but at least give the U.S. a different look.
That was Hardaway from Mitch Richmond on a quick pass back by the Sacramento King. As you mentioned, certainly making a name for himself, and the Kings did. They played Seattle very tough in that first round of the playoffs this year. Wang Zhuzhe against Shaquille O'Neal. Undeterred and finally fouled. Look how thin he is against Shaq, and he was not afraid to go in there. 100-pounder.
Well, you're only talking 220 pounds. Shaq is 330, and you can see right here, he's trying to do an up and under move. Shaq only fouled him 4 times. That's all. But at least the young guy continued to do his moves by the book. All right.
Yeah, he is fearless. 19-year-old fearless player. The Washington Huskies, Georgetown, Marquette, and Clemson are 4 schools who have shown interest in Wang Zhuzhe.
Are you one of these recruiting?
No, you know who I recruit for if I could, but I don't want to say. Pass inside, intended for O'Neal, and Barkley gets hit as he's fouled, and he'll go to the line. Charles Barkley mixing it up inside under the hoop.
You know, you look at Charles in this past year, he's accomplished so much. He's been on the All-NBA team, first, second, or third team in 11 of his 12 years in the league. But the key stat for Charles this year, 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds. Only 10 guys in the history of this league have been able to do that. Now, that's impressive.
Yes, it is. And 5 assists in this game. And it was Charles who told Cheryl Miller after Game 1, after the slim 96-90 win over the Select team, he says, we're not trying to kill these guys. We'll do that through a foreign country. So the chances are slim that Charles will be a diplomat when his playing days are over.
Yeah, but you got to give the under-22 team a lot of credit. They played great basketball. They shot the ball well on the perimeter, and Brevin Knight was just outstanding breaking down the defense.
Batur trying to work it inside to Zhuzhe. Quick hands. And here is Batur from the baseline. And Zhuzhe tips it in.
Now, I like this lineup for China. These 2 7-foot guys are very active. And then these 3 perimeter guys can make the shot.
Oh!
This is a nice lineup for China.
And they got their best player, Wu Wei Dong. That foul is the 4th on Wang.
Now you're going to see now watch the big fella coming right inside there. You can see he has beautiful hand control, and he's a very good foul shooter.
Wang, though, commits his 4th foul, and Mitch Richmond misses the first free throw, or Penny Hardaway, that is. And Hardaway 1 out of 2. So Penny Hardaway, who started and played 18 minutes against Brazil, not seeing any action until the second half of this one. The team paid a visit recently to the Nike campus near Portland. Nike is China's marketing representative, but on the court, they were China's competition. And of course, many foreign teams are getting ready for the Atlanta Olympics, training in the United States, and here they are. We've already seen Croatia, Lithuania.
Well, Dick, the Chinese team played 2 games against Nike All-Stars. They're playing the USA Olympic team tonight. They're going to L.A. to play Magic Johnson's All-Star team, and then also a Los Angeles Lakers free agent team. So they're playing their 5 games.
Steal by Penny Hardaway, and he stuffs it through.
See, it's almost unfair when the United States put the 3 quick guys out there, and then everyone is 6'6" and interchangeable, and then you anchor them with Barkley up front with his foot quickness, and then you have O'Neal in the back for a shot blocker.
Here is the backdoor play, and Zhang going to the basket is fouled. And by the way, China's going to be playing in the LA Summer League starting next week. That'll be a great experience for them.
Nice block by Charles. Charles is doing an awful lot of little things here this evening. Not only the block shots, he's doing a good job in the assist category with 5, and he's making a lot of things happen.
You know, he told Reggie Theus at the top that he wasn't really emotional about playing what could be his last game on this floor as a member of the Suns, even though he's playing on the Dream Team. I'm not so sure that deep down inside, in that long well, after all the years he played with the Suns, that there is a feeling here.
Well, look, they did get to the finals with Charles, and unfortunately they came up short. He's had an incredible career here. The building is filled not only because of Charles, but also because of the other talented players here. But he has a real feeling. I think what everything comes down to is you want to be appreciated at this time, and do they rip up your contract, or do they move you, and then hopefully someone else will rip up your contract.
Shaquille O'Neal with a turnaround, and a rebound by Batur. But there's no question that Charles Barkley has been outspoken in his feeling that the welcome mat is gone here in Phoenix.
Well, I don't think he liked the fact that they were shopping him around and it got into the newspapers, and then he was saying, well, how come I can only bring that few amount of players of that type of notoriety?
Barkley did a great job on the 7-footer Batur there. Here's Charles going strong.
Oh, yes.
And a standing ovation from much of the crowd here at America West Arena. And what could be a farewell of sorts for Charles Barkley, who now has 11 points. Dream Team up 79-48 there. Biggest lead matched at 31 points.
Now you're going to see it here right now. See, Charles is playing him with a lot of enthusiasm. Now he's giving away 8 inches right there with Pater.
And he's defending against him again and knocked the ball away. And it'll still be China's ball, but Barkley very nearly forced a turnover.
Lenny Wilkens made a good point. If a player's on a roll, he'll allow him to stay in the game. Otherwise, he's going to try to stay with his rotations. A different starting unit at halftime over the starting unit that opened up with the opening tap.
Hardaway, no-look pass, and Mitch Richmond on the layup. And you're right, this is not an all-star game. People should be aware of that. This is an Olympic team, and if you're on a roll, you're going to play. Wu Dong into Batur. The 21-year-old Batur. Two young 7-footers. And here's Grant Hill as he beats Sejong Woo to the basket. Grant Hill now with 14 points. He's the high scorer tonight as the U.S. 35-4, resounding edge on the fast break.
Well, let's see, this is a good education for China. They continue to play up-tempo. They're shooting a little bit too quick. When you shoot too quick and you don't make your shots, then what you're doing is playing to the United States quickness, and they're getting hammered. Nice pass.
Shaquille O'Neal, and they're putting on a show now, 85-48. With just under 13 minutes remaining in the second half, 27 assists by the U.S. team.
Dick, you only get 2 timeouts a half in FIBA basketball, and we all know right now they need a timeout before their confidence is totally shattered. All right, you want them to regroup right now, talk to them about shooting too quick and trying to stop turning the basketball off.
Here is O'Neal. Jack trying to take it the distance. This was last time down.
Now this is just a great pass right here to shovel off to the big fella with a thunder dunk. Well, it's fun time here.
And a timeout has been called by China, so as good coaches do, they think alike. And China's calling a timeout to get themselves together. Big lead for the U.S. Team's upcoming pre-Olympic schedule brought to you by Sprite. Hubie and I and the gang will be with you Friday at 8 o'clock from Salt Lake City as Australia is the foe. You'll see it here on TNT at 8 o'clock. Sunday, the Dream Team concludes their pre-Olympic schedule against Greece from the Hoosier Dome at Indianapolis at 1 o'clock on NBC. But Friday, we'll be back against the Australian team. Andrew Cage. Remember him from the college ranks?
Oh, Seton Hall. Very big star. Played in the NCAA final game with Seton Hall when they lose by 1 point to the University of Michigan.
And so Australia will be the foe for the United States, leading by 37 points. Scottie Pippen has come into the game. He scored 5 points in the first half. Pass into Elijah Wan from Scottie Pippen, or that is O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal, and O'Neal now with 5 points, but he certainly, along with Barkley, has gotten a rise out of the crowd in the second half. 60-10, the U.S. dominating China in the paint. China's had to rely on the three-point shot. They've been pretty successful, at least early in the first half with that. Wang Zhezhe, youngster double team. Out now to Jung Woo. And a three-point shot. Barkley quickly out to Penny.
The United States team has done a terrific job shutting down the three-point shooting. At halftime, China was 8 for 13. This half, they have not been able to make a three.
Jack got the basket, and Penny Hardaway committing the foul for the United States. Let's send it over to Reggie Theus right now.
Well, Dick, if you notice, the U.S. team is still keeping their intensity level up. That's because Lenny Wilkens keeps preaching to play the game, not to score. He also has been telling them to keep going to the basket every time China shoots because you can knock it off the rim. It's not like NBA rules. Dick?
All right, Reggie, thank you very much. Well, I think the wake-up call came against the select team when they fell down by 17 in the first half. They said, we don't want to see even a scare like this. Doesn't matter who the opposition is. Let's go all out. That's the only way you can get ready for the Olympics.
Anytime you only play 20-minute halves, right? It's a shorter game. You cannot allow the team to get out on a roll and get confidence and then milk the clock and slow the game down. That would be the worst thing. I like Lenny's strategy. Get out, press early, and get on him. And the big, hey, this is a big kid, I'm telling you. He can shoot inside, make foul shots. He just took a shot close to a three.
I named 4 schools. Maybe there are 24 more that are watching this that are interested in Wang Zhezhe to play college basketball in the United States. That basket by Penny Hardaway, who has 7. Mitch Richmond has 11. Remember, he had 21 to lead the Dream Teamers against Brazil on Sunday. And Hu Wei Dong is fouled in three-point territory by Charles Barkley, and he'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Now, Hu Wei Dong came in off the bench in that first half. Their best player. He played limited amount of minutes. 11 minutes for him is a low amount, but he came in with 8 points. And I'm just interesting, he's not been able to really get it going here. Now you can see Charles pushing people around. You know, he's just manhandling everybody. And let's face it, they're getting away, USA's getting away with a lot of physical contact here.
Hu Wei Dong driving to the hoop, knocked away. Karl Malone and Reggie Miller have checked in as Scottie Pippen, changing hands, gets the layup on the fast break, and it's 96-52 in favor of the USA. So it's Scottie Pippen, Penny Hardaway, Reggie Miller, Karl Malone, and Shaquille O'Neal on defense for the Dream Team right now. Winding down to 10 minutes remaining, halfway through this second half, and Lin Ju from the corner. Little pinball action. No look. And Shaq gets another easy one. He's got 9. David Robinson enjoying the game from the bench, and it's very possible that Robinson will be in the starting lineup Friday against Australia from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, well, then he allows everyone a chance to play. And by each game, everyone will have a chance to start the game or start the second half.
Malone, and you know he'll start the game Friday along with John Stockton, gives the U.S. a 100-52 lead, and that is their largest big margin of the game, 48 points. So remember, they beat Brazil by 41. So this isn't what China had wanted. They knew they weren't going to win the game, but it's out of hand right now, score-wise. On the turnover, Pippen has Penny, and gives it back off the glass to Scottie Pippen.
You know, what you're seeing right now, you have to remember the 92 team, Dream Team won. They had a differential of 43.5 points. They scored 75% of their points in transition. Exactly what you're seeing here this evening. The key thing is forcing the turnovers, the steals, getting out in the open floor.
50-point lead for the U.S. as O'Neal black Wang, and it'll still be China's ball. The U.S. shooting 72% from the field, and most of those baskets inside as Wu Xinlong, number 10, and Gong Xiaobin, number 15, check into the game as Bater, who has played well, 7-footer. We've seen 3 of them tonight for China, and Zhongwu Li. Missing outside is Zhuzhe, Wang Zhuzhe. Pass off the hands of O'Neal, turns it over.
If I was going to critique the China team, I would take them aside, and you can see the scoring by the halves. Now, what's missing in the second half? Well, they can't make a three-point shot. In the first half, you make 8. Well, now all of a sudden you can't. Well, if you don't have an inside game, how else can you score against this type of talent? But you can see where they would not be intimidated by any team from FIBA. You can see right now, they move the ball, they have some nice plays, they'd be able to get inside scoring against the other FIBA team, which is not existent here this evening. But I would take them aside and say, look, don't shoot the ball so quickly. You have 30 seconds. You know, milk the clock a little bit. Make the United States play a longer period of time on defense, and you'll still get a good shot.
See, the Dream Team's in a class of their own, but remember, this team was 8 out of 16 in the World Championships, and all they have to do is do well against the rest in their finish, so you can't judge them against the USA.
Well, the other thing is they're not going to play against this type of athletic quickness or jumping ability, which leads to shot blocking. Those 3 key elements are not going to be there when they play the other teams in the Olympics.
Although the U.S. and China are in the same Pool A when the Olympics do get underway. Penny Hardaway leaves the game. Gary Payton is back in there, so now it's Gary Payton and Reggie Miller in the backcourt. Shaquille O'Neal, the center, with Karl Malone and Scottie Pippen on the free throw line, who makes 1 out of 2. And a timeout with 7:53 to go in the game. 103-52, the U.S. big. Side of USA basketball is the women's team.
USA!
They're undefeated in exhibition play at 51-0, led by stars Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops.
I feel like we are just as good as the men are. And a lot of people either don't realize that or don't understand that. And I think this is going to be the perfect opportunity to show them.
And what a classy team that is, the U.S. women's team. This is their pre-Olympic schedule. They go against Italy at Indianapolis and training in Orlando, and then they arrive in Atlanta July 17th. President Clinton is going to pay them a visit. I think that's a great thing.
Well, I think this is a great accomplishment. They're 51-0. They were 26-0 against 8 of the 11 teams that will be in the Olympics. They did not play Brazil. Now, Brazil is the defending world champion. But 4 of the ladies, meaning Leslie, Bolton, Swoops, and McLean, all averaged over 12 points a game. Very well-rounded team there. A lot of talent.
Lead pass to Scottie Pippen. And China, by the way, the Chinese women's team are a formidable group.
Yes, they are. They have a 6'8" player who is a very dominant player.
Wang Zhezhe continuing to impress everyone in a losing cause for China with 10 points, showing the ability to go in against the stronger and bigger Shaq to hit from outside and have touch. Remember, just 19 the last couple of days. One to watch, Gary Payton with a jump shot. Payton now with 7 points. He started the game at point guard.
I'd like to get back to the women's team, Dick. You have to admire the ladies because they all are playing for $50,000 salary. Now, 10 of those ladies play overseas in either Japan, Italy, what have you, and they all make over $200,000. So they have made a major sacrifice to stay here and play with this United States for a 12-month period of time.
Hu Wei Dong feeding inside. Tip and miss. Wang Zhezhe, Karl Malone, 2-on-1. Miller has Pippen. And Reggie Miller gets the basket. So Reggie Miller, who shot nearly 53% from downtown as a member of Dream Team 2 in the World Championships in '94. U.S. still over 70% shooting overall in the game. 6:10 remaining in the second half, 107-54. 53-point lead for the Dream Team after beating Brazil by 41 on Sunday in Cleveland. And the turnaround by Gong Xiaobin.
He has been a disappointment tonight. And as you know, Dick, he has not practiced well the last 2 days. The coach has really been on his face. And unfortunately, right now, he is backing it up with a bad performance in this game. Now this is quickness right here. You can see he goes right back up again, the young fella, and sends it down and get poked. He gets poked right in the right eye.
He gave up 100 pounds to Shaquille O'Neal and charged him anyway. They hit him in the eye is not going to bother him one bit.
I tell you, they get him on a weight program and bulk him up a little. He has great quickness, and you can see the touches there.
Hu Wei Dong.
He's been shooting too quick all night.
China has missed its last 8 3-point baskets after starting 8 for 12 in the game. And right now, here's a look at tonight's AT&T game storyline. U.S. 72% on transition hoops. Grant Hill, the leading scorer with 14. Huge rebounding advantage, and of course, the turnovers have really killed China.
I think we brought all those points up at the top of this program.
Yeah, exactly. This is why you're here. David Robinson in the game, but Reggie Miller hits a 3 from Miller. That is his second from downtown. So Miller and Grant Hill both tied for the scoring lead with 14 points. 6 in double figures tonight for the American team. Here is Wu Xi-Long, and another turnover. Payton. Oh, Scottie Pippen.
Was that quick?
You know, impressing Clem Haskins, one of the assistant coaches. And he says, you know, I'm now getting a chance to see what Scottie Pippen could do. Easily the best all-round player. There's Clem, Western Kentucky.
Oh, come on, played in the NBA for a long time, doing a great job at the University of Minnesota.
And doing a great job on this team along with Bobby Cremins of Georgia Tech. A very fine staff. There's Clem Haskins and Lenny Wilkins. Of course, Jerry Sloan of the Utah Jazz will be going back home for Friday night's game at 8 on TNT. And Bobby Cremins of the Yellow Jackets on the left. Green team with 38 assists. And a basket scored by Lee Nong.
The most impressive thing tonight is the defensive intensity for this long of a period of time in a rout. And then the second thing, the unselfishness, the assist stick backing up the field goal.
Tipped up and in by David Robinson. Now, I was fortunate to be on a tour with a U.S. college team with Kiki Vandeweghe and Bill Hanslick and Kyle Macy back in 1979. And that American college team lost 2 of 5 games to a Chinese team when they had a big 7'6" insteader named Wu Tianchu.
Now, this is a country with 1.2 billion people. The number 1 sport, soccer. Number 2, and coming on strong, basketball.
With 21 against Brazil Sunday, has 11 tonight, and a terrific behind-the-scenes story on Mitch. Let's go into the crowd to Reggie Theus.
Yes, I'm in the crowd, way up in the top of the arena, and I'm here with 40 kids from Sacramento, flown in by Mitch Richmond as a part of an outreach program that he's involved with in Sacramento. And these guys, this is Cleo right here, and this is Desmond, and Desmond said that he has tried to play Mitch Richmond one-on-one basketball. Did he comply?
Yes, he told me we got the game set up, but he kind of busy right now. We've been trying to set it up since me and him had a banquet, the 2-on-2 against me and my partner Boo and him and Ty Etney. And we're going to get it down, you know what I'm saying? The better team going to win, you know?
All right. And over here is Cleo. And Cleo, you guys are going to Planet Hollywood tonight, and also you have a trip for tomorrow, too.
Yeah, we're going to the Grand Canyon. It's only begun. It's not over yet. So we're just going to have fun until, you know, it's over.
And, you know, Mitch Richmond, guys, has made a name for himself out of Sacramento, all over the world, and he's putting back into the community. That's what kind of guy Mitch Richmond is, guys. Back to you.
All right, Reggie, and a great infectious smile by Mitch as well. And you love the girl. She doesn't want to talk about tomorrow. She's still enjoying the night.
Absolutely.
Let's not rush this trip.
That's correct.
That's great thing that Mitch Richmond is doing, and picking up the tab for these.
We're not talking 4 people. We're talking 40 children from the Sacramento area, 12 years of age to 18.
Hakeem Olajuwon has come back in the game, and it'll still be USA ball with 2:36 showing on the clock. Penny Hardaway will replace Scottie Pippen, who leaves with 12 points. Reggie Miller has 16. He's the high scorer for the Dream Team, who continue to double the shooting output of China. Grant Hill is second with 14, Pippen with 12, Barkley and Richmond each with 11, and Hakeem Olajuwon has 10. Payton with a drive. Robinson and Olajuwon in the lineup at the same time, so we're seeing 2, and Lenny Wilkins said maybe I'll play all 3 centers sometime together.
Well, and if he played 3 big guys tonight, China was ready. They were going with their 3 big guys. Well, and I like to see that they finally played the 2-3 zone. You're hoping that they could have done that a longer period of time, give the United States a work.
Working inside is Gong. 7 on the shot clock. Missing from 3-point range is Lee Nong. Lean on, number 12. And off the rim, the rebound taken down by David Robinson. Crowd yelling, "We want Chuck." They want Charles. Hardaway fouled, and Penny will go to the line with 1:18 remaining. Big performance tonight by the Dream Team, and they will continue their tour Friday night at Salt Lake City at the Delta Center when the Australian national team takes on the Dream Teamers at 8 Eastern. That's Friday night right here on TNT. Charles Barkley coming back in and a standing ovation. You can't tell me this doesn't have a meaning for Charles.
It's a beautiful tribute. The people wanted it during that. While you were making the announcement, they were standing, chanting, and I'm glad to see Lenny put him in, and Charles responded. He deserves it. It's beautiful.
117-58, winding down to a minute to go. They'll always love Charles Barkley here in Phoenix, I guess, unless he comes in with the Houston Rockets, if that happens to be the team he plays with. Under a minute to go. Crowd chanting Barkley, and Swen Jun is tripped as he drives the baseline. And as part of Visa's continuing efforts to support amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $10,000 to the U.S. Olympic team in the name of Charles Barkley. And those were his numbers tonight. A terrific all-round game, versatile as Charles Barkley is, in order to help further the development of U.S. Olympians present and future. Here is the alley-oop, Hardaway. Too far under, but David Robinson converts. 61-point lead.
I like what Lenny Wilkens had to tell you yesterday, Dick, and that being he likes this team. They're a fun group, very coachable. They respond to what the coaching staff is doing, and they're trying to blend, and they're trying to keep the selfishness out of this team.
And he seems to be succeeding because there is a tremendous amount of respect from every one of those players for Lenny Wilkens and the way he has handled himself throughout his playing and coaching career in the NBA.
Amen to that.
Time runs out, and the Dream Team wins going away. They took a 24-point lead at the half and won by 119-58, 61 points. But the story here tonight, Charles Barkley, who very possibly has played his last game at America West Arena as a member of the Phoenix Suns. As the two teams commiserate, 7 Dream Teamers in double figures, 5 with 5 or more assists. And the Dream Team now 3-0, and they continue to raise their margin of victory in each game. And right now, let's send it over to Reggie Theus. Red?
Charles Barkley, what a great tribute to you tonight. The guys giving you a hand in the head and a standing ovation by their fans. They love you.
Well, the fans have always been terrific to me here. My gripe is with the Suns organization. The fans, they made me appreciate fans. Before I got here, I did not appreciate fans. But I never have a problem with these fans. I hope to always keep a house here in Arizona. But my gripe is with the Suns organization, and I can't wait till tomorrow, baby.
Charles, all right, but how proud are you of being on this team, and the USA team? It's tremendous.
Well, I tell you what, to get to go to the Olympics is an unbelievable opportunity. And I tell you what, to go twice makes it even more special. And I got the best team in the world right now.
And listen, your golf game is going on too, right?
Hey, my golf game is coming around. Hey, when I play Neil and Howard, I'll be kicking some butt. And my friend Derek.
All right, Charles, good luck, man.
Thank you.
Let's go back over to Dick at the table.
All right, thank you very much, Reggie. Well, Charles Barkley made it clear who he likes and who he doesn't like in that interview with Reggie Theus. 119-58, the final score. We'll be back with more from the America West Arena in Phoenix after these messages.